What's happening, Fresh Baked? We are at the top of the Mickey and Friends parking structure for our weekly update. A weekly update that has been a long time coming because we have not done anything for 2 weeks now.
And maybe tried to do it and stuff happened.
Right, yeah, we even tried to do one yesterday. That didn't work out too well, but I feel like I've got a lot of catching up to do. It just looks like so much is going on since the last time we were here. I don't even know where to begin. We'll start, I guess, with the pool. That is concrete, right, Ian?
Yes.
That wasn't there before?
At least 2 of the walls are now concrete.
It was just the liner, right? Or was it forms? I don't remember.
Forms.
Okay, so the pool has been lined with concrete. It won't be long before that's filled up with water. And Ryan Lochte will be swimming in it.
If it keeps raining, it'll do the job for it.
That's right. The other big news is that the maintenance path, the road that sort of bisected the
backstage access
the property or the land has been taken out.
Because they're using the new one right down there.
That's right. There's this. See that? There he goes. There goes a guy. He's driving on the new maintenance road that's been built along the rear perimeter of the land.
Mm-hmm.
That's something.
Yes.
So they're no longer traveling in between. They're now going around, which is great. See, there he goes. That goes all the way. It's done. We thought we were done with piles of dirt, but we're not.
Oh, you're never done with piles.
Just like Al Pacino in Godfather, they keep pulling us back in. Ian doesn't know that reference because he probably hasn't seen The Godfather.
No, because I'm a filthy casual with movies.
He is a filthy casual. What are those dirt piles? Where did that dirt come from, Ian? Where do you think?
I think it came from the pool coming towards us. See where it sticks out?
It's an area that's bigger than it used to be.
Yeah, specifically deep and rectangular.
Yes, it looks like, yeah, you're right. There's wood. They're shoring up something that they've dug even deeper, right about there, I think.
Yes, that.
Yeah.
I think it came from there. There might be more dirt than
That's more dirt than you can fit in there, but there could be other areas But they're definitely, digging up that area further. We thought that was going to be like a temporary hole, but they're still going.
Yep.
Now talk to me about this. Ian, you're not a constructionite, so maybe you can't tell. But where these guys are working right now, what is that guy doing?
Well, which guy?
Is he jackhammering the dirt?
He is.
They built these concrete, like, pylons.
Like bases to put pylons on.
Or bases for pylons, yeah. That's just, I mean, guys, my logic says that's, for, the support structure, kind of like.
For the massive show building.
Right.
You can totally see the.
It's just that they're close together. But yeah, what is he doing? It looked like he was jackhammering the dirt.
It did look like that.
By the way, isn't it cool? This is the most we've seen people work on a Sunday ever.
Well, we're not usually here on Sundays, so I mean that's not
well, or Saturday even.
Okay, there we go.
That's true, but still, they're working around the clock now.
Yep. Oh, this truck's dumping a bunch of dirt.
Oh, God. This is like being here on a Wednesday, Ian. This guy's dropping dirt. Is that what he's doing?
Well, he did, and he was
It's already done.
But he's lowering his thing.
So I want to know, what kind of structure requires, that guy is definitely, he's just hammering the heck out of that around the pylon or whatever that is.
What we saw yesterday, which is kind of covered a bit by dirt, each of those little bases have a bigger base underneath.
There was a concrete base surrounding it.
There's now dirt on top of those.
All right, so somebody tell me what kind of structure that's for. Now I want to talk about, Ian and I argue all the time about where things are spatially.
Yep, oh yeah. Yes.
All the time. I don't have the kind of mind it takes to figure this out because I don't see things the way everybody else sees it. I've been trying to figure out where Millennium Falcon attraction is, but it looks like it's where we're both starting to agree, or at least I'm starting to come around to his side, that it's where Mount Spielberg was. Because it looks like when we were here yesterday, and I can't tell, they've flattened that area out to where it looks like they're beginning to do some vertical construction.
I don't think there's maybe a couple markers. But
they're getting ready. That's what I'm saying.
They haven't really touched it.
But yeah, but it looks like stuff has been measured and marked off. as if they're about to do something. They're setting up the boundaries or whatever. Or they're about to dig, maybe.
Maybe.
Because there's all kinds of equipment back there now. And while we're over here, let's talk about Warehouse 13. A YouTube commenter has said that obviously this structure is nothing. It's nothing but temporary. And his evidence for that, his logic for that, which is very sound in my opinion, is that roof. Because remember we were asking, why did they put a rail up there? Why are there OSHA rails on there?
Yeah.
And he just said that's because, somebody's working up there, that's all. But the fact, the roof is not, it's not a real roof, it's just aluminum. And there's no chance on this earth that any permanent structure that's going to exist on Star Wars land is going to have an aluminum roof. And I think that's sound. That is temporary. That is just a place for them to put stuff that can't be exposed to the elements, or to do stuff that you have to do outside of the elements.
Anything permanent looks like it's going to have concrete structure.
Yeah, that doesn't even have a foundation.
Anything concrete they're building is those concrete bases and walls.
Right.
And then the theming around.
Right. That's coming down before this is done for sure. As a matter of fact, it makes sense that they would put that in the quote-unquote expansion area, because they don't have to worry about it being in the way of something that's permanent.
Yeah.
So there you go. That's just temporary, whatever that is. Warehouse 13 is nothing more than what it sounds like, a warehouse. There are so many tractors and stuff and guys running around. Okay, Ian.
Yes.
Earlier today, we were having a discussion about the Fantasmic storage area. Because yesterday when we were up here, I was just like, look at all that stuff going on over there. Look at how much there's just activity, like things pointing in different directions and up and out and over, and it's just this confusing mess that I can't figure out what anything is. And then when we're looking at the concept art on Big Thunder Trail, it started to make more sense.
Yeah.
If it's what we think, if it's mostly rock, really, is what all this is. And I think that second floor of the Fantasmic building is this area right here in the concept art.
Which we're now looking at, and we are totally not editing in.
We're pretending that we can see it. That is actually not going to be covered. It looks like it's an open. That's what that looks like to me. That looks like the Fantasmic storage building, and we're looking at that open area on top of that building. You're saying maybe not because it looked like it was too far back.
Yeah.
That's what you're saying on the trail.
Fantasmic storage is too close to the river from what we can see right here.
Right.
Hell, the additional height between that and the turret, I'm pretty sure the train's going between your turret and the Fantasmic storage. So that's a pretty sizable gap. And that way it's nice and smoothly into the bridge.
Yeah. I don't know, just the way things are configured, the way I see it here, it makes sense visually when I look at it on the concept art. The things kind of, to me, they piece together fairly well. But I don't know, I could be wrong. I'm often wrong about this. So who knows? Now as we scan to the right, you can see the peaks of the rockwork are just, there's so much rockwork going on there. You can see all those peaks.
We're continuing to wrap around.
It's definitely, more finished than it ever has been, obviously.
Probably the highest point is.
Yeah.
Some of the other stuff is still just mesh.
That's gonna look beautiful.
Oh yeah.
I can't wait till they put some trees up on that berm.
Well, it's gonna take a bit for the trees to grow in. So.
Yeah.
I suspect the Mark 20 and the Columbia will probably still have a few views in the construction.
We were saying that yesterday. I don't know how they obscure today.
Yeah.
I don't know how you obscure Star Wars land from the river.
Over time, again, if they put some trees, and the trees will grow in.
Yeah.
But right away, there's still going to be some view over.
And you've seen photos of, like the Jungle Cruise.
Oh yeah.
You can see everything from everywhere.
Yeah. It can be a little rough.
The Jungle Cruise today is nothing like it was.
Well, even just the train before.
50 years ago.
There was no trees at first.
Yeah.
And the trees that were there took a while to grow in. It was just, you were on this dirt berm that went around.
Right. Yeah. You couldn't see anything. Or sorry. You could see everything. Yeah. So we're spoiled today, or we were spoiled, with the definition that the trees created. That's what I was so bummed out about the trees, because it's the trees, like Autopia. People want to talk about replacing Autopia, and in order to do that, you have to take down all those trees, and it just ruins the skyline.
You can leave that tree barrier.
If you want to put a new attraction, you have to take down all the trees. You have to plant new trees maybe, but I don't see how you put in
the far barrier up against Target.
No, not that. I'm talking about within all the trees that you go through and everything.
Wherever you build, you'd have to remove.
Right, and that makes me sad because
I think we're going that way. Hong Kong is replacing theirs. That's part of the Marvel stuff going into Hong Kong Disneyland. Part of that's going on taking up the Autopia land. Tokyo Disneyland is replacing theirs for Beauty and the Beast.
That's fine. I get that as a new thing when you're building up, but I don't want to lose trees. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I think it's going to happen. I have no idea when. I think that's the direction we're going to go.
That makes me sad. I think the trees are a very underrated part of the Disneyland experience.
Well, they're important, and new trees will grow in. It's just there's going to be that growing pain in between. You'll get to that point again where the trees are back and they're big and the sky
I hope so.
again.
I hope so.
There's going to be that in between time where it's missing.
All right. They're about ready. It looks like they're really getting ready to do some stuff over here on that mountainous range.
I hope so.
Right? I mean, well, maybe not. That actually. Now that it looks like a staging area for other stuff, perhaps. All that stuff that they got right here.
Mm-hmm.
None of that is where it's. Yeah, it's just staging area. I wonder if they're going to do that last. It feels that way. Not a lot of progress. You said that you could see some when you push your face up against the screen.
Yeah, against the
down there at Hungry Bear. You can't really see much, but there's the path. That they've been working on. You can see they added a rail, I think, right?
Yeah, it looks like just like
a handrail.
Yeah, but it has like a wood texture. I think it's like because it feels like a small tree sort of thing.
Okay, right. That's very Hungry Bear.
Yeah.
Very Critter Country. I don't know that it's gotten any longer.
There's some some stuff on the ground you can't see that.
Yeah.
If you're over there, that appears to be prep work for more path. It's something that we could pick up from the camera, even if we press the camera up against the mesh.
Right. No, you couldn't. I wish I could. I want to see. I'm really curious. I don't know what it is. I'm really curious about how guests are going to be accessing from here, because that's like we're talking about that little where that concrete wall is in the center of your frame. That's where guests are going to be walking to the left of that as you enter and under it, right?
In between it and.
In between, yeah. There's that little path, right? We're saying that's the path.
Yes.
Right there.
Yes.
Where the train is going to go over you.
Yep.
As it passes over and then along that rockwork there.
I suspect that the reason they haven't put a concrete tunnels there is because it'd be more like a wooden bridge, like.
Yeah, not a tunnel, more like an underpass.
More like in Critter Country.
Or Toontown, you were saying.
Toontown, I've been saying that, but I realized that even that's still more like these concrete tunnels.
Yeah.
I expect it'll just be more.
That's true. It is a kind of a proper tunnel, isn't it?
This will probably be more just an extension of the overpass in Critter Country.
Yeah.
Where you have the big one.
Oh, you mean the train?
Yeah, the train.
Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, I can see that. Yeah.
Because over there, that's still Critter Country, Frontier. There's no need for a tunnel that hides everything.
Right. No, they're right. Because you're not getting there's no point in really or hiding it, because that part of Star Wars Land isn't developed. You won't be. It's just. It's still also trees and stuff.
Around the corner that you'll see Star Wars stuff.
Because Star Wars Land, as it comes, is going to be a wooded area anyway.
Yeah.
So it's easy to make that transition.
The Star Wars specific things around the corner.
And that brings up something fun, or not fun, but a lot of the argument against.
That's interesting, kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, the arguments against Star Wars Land being where it is they thought it was going to ruin the aesthetic of the transition between Critter Country or Frontierland and Star Wars Land, which is an asinine comment. Well,
at the time, we hadn't seen concept art. We didn't know when it was going to.
Look, Star Wars doesn't exist in space. Star Wars exists on planets. It's not just the land that we're going to be given. A lot of the lands that we see in the Star Wars universe are forested lands.
Sure.
Just because it's you get there through space, but that doesn't mean that the environments have to be set in space. Yeah. It's not a futuristic environment. In that sense,
but it's a used universe, like that.
Done properly, like Rogue One.
Yeah.
Done properly, it's a used universe. It's a very lived in, a very wooded,
as Dave
forested.
Put in the video and launch me. It feels like whatever's been going on in this universe has been going on for a
very long time, and that's why I think that's actually this locale is perfect, if anything, between Frontierland and Star Wars and Critter Country, because what we're going to be given is a lived-in
Space Frontier.
Space frontier, right? But a lived-in, forested, wooded, you know, lived-in area. No, this is not a hive of skimmability.
I mean, it looks like they said an outpost at the edge of wild space. That means smugglers, criminal underworld.
Right.
That's a hive of skimmability.
Yeah, that's true. All right. Well, I guess that's our update. I'm going to try to make it down this week if it doesn't rain. It's supposed to rain in the middle of this week, so who knows?
That's on everyone who goes to see Electrical Parade Thursday night.
I know, right?
Rained out.
Oh, God, those people are so bummed. Hey, speaking of which, though, we did book, what do you call it, dining package? What's the name of that place?
Blue Bayou?
Blue Bayou, yes, thank you. Me, Sarah, and Liz are going to the Blue Bayou on Sunday, next Sunday. It was spur of the moment.
I know.
Yeah, me, and we're gonna have a reserved spot for Electrical Parade.
Cool.
And so we're gonna hopefully get that video out in advance of the rest of the trip report. So stay tuned for that. If I told you that during the trip report, you would have found out too late. So this is going up tonight, maybe, what I'm filming right now.
Sure.
If I'm lucky.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's it. That's it this week. Well, guys, we'll see you next week. Bye. Fresh Breaking Stuff. Love you. We've got lots more for you guys to see, so grab a churro and watch our Star Wars Land updates with the Knothole Gang, or maybe our Secrets and History videos. And we're now at Disney World, so please do subscribe and watch our adventures there. And don't forget, you can support Fresh Baked through our Patreon campaign and get some exclusive benefits in the process. Thank you, everyone. Fresh Baked!